The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Well, boys and girls, this is a sad week. We lose Charlie Rose and David Cassidy in the same week. Boy, oh boy, losing David Cassidy brings back a lot of memories from my kids growing up. My gosh, between the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch, my gosh, and with Chachi and Fonzie and everybody with Happy Days. Oh my gosh, what a tremendous. Did Mel Tillis die this week? Really? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Thanks for the heads up. And Della Reese, wow, this is a big week. Anyway, let's move on to happier things. Yes, he was. He was the son of Jack Cassidy. He sure was. I happen to know. I met Jack Cassidy more than 3 or 4 times. He was a big horse player down at Hollywood Park. Okay, let's get on to the markets. We'll take a look here at the DAX like we always do, and you can take a look at. It was really an interesting chart here in the DAX because we've had that big move up, and then we have this little tiny move, what we call a little Gartley there, but not very much. But we'll see what's going on. Let's take a look here at the next one, which of course we will take a look at is the FTSE is much weaker, but we came right off of that bottom yesterday that we talked about. And you'll see that that's where our folks. This is going to be a very, very thinly traded day as we talk about the markets. I mean, we close here several hours early, close tomorrow. Remember the odds of the days going up. Yesterday was a positive day. Today's a positive day. The day after Thanksgiving is a positive day. The only thing that would probably put a damper on that would be the fact that there might be some type of activity out there that try to hurt a lot of people would be one thing. Or I don't see any possibility of poor sales anyway because these markets are really. We went to Costco yesterday, and my gosh, you almost had to stand in line just to get in the place. There was so many people there, so it was. You can see the business coming in. First of all, let's just talk about the Dow Jones yesterday, folks. We had a big move in the Dow, almost 200 points. The open interest did not drop. It stayed the same, which is very unusual. But what's interesting was the S&P, which is the biggest of the indices, had a 1% increase in open interest, folks. There's nothing bearish about that at all. There was a lot of new players coming into the game. Maybe they're coming into the game late, but there's nothing bearish about that. If the open interest would have dropped by 1%, it would have been, very, very bearish, but it didn't do that. By the way, I got a great idea from someone who's very, very smart. Why don't you guys call in and tell me what you think the market's going to do these next few months here? Because the Bradley model certainly isn't working, and we're still in some patterns, but for heaven's sakes, this thing just keeps wanting to go higher and higher. So it's 877-927-6648. Anyway, we'll move on to take a look here at the New York Stock Exchange Index because this is a very interesting chart, and I think we should take a quick look at it here. This is over the past month. You can see we made that. There's three major gaps on this chart. One back on the 19th of October. There's another one back on the 15th of November, and there's another one here yesterday, and these are very large gaps. And now we're right up at the 78% level in the New York Stock Exchange Index, and that makes it a 135 pattern, folks. I'm not sure, being a day like today, I wouldn't trust it too much because of the lack of volatility and everything, but that's what we're looking at. Hold on, folks. I've got to check. My beepers are going off telling me that, we got gold getting right up to a 61% retracement here. Which is interesting. We needed to get about $4 higher today, which would be a really nice Christmas present for the bulls, and we'll watch that as we go out here through this morning to take a look at. If you have any questions, it's 877-927-6648. But this New York Stock Exchange Index chart, which is the biggest of all the indices, is the one that I watch to see what the real market is doing. And with the volume yesterday, was one of the slower days of the year, if you can believe that, folks. So these markets are going up pretty much on thin air. There's not a lot of power in them, but we'll see. When the door opens and some people try to get out, it might be a little different thing, especially with these ETFs, but that's in a different lifetime, I suppose. Let's take a look at the Treasury bonds. I wanted to just give you an idea here on the Treasury bonds is what we were watching yesterday. We were looking for that market to get up to the 154.28 level. At that time, if you remember, Mr. Z from the Den called in and said, would there be any chance it would get any higher than 154.22? And we said, there's certainly a possibility because it's taken out the high of the previous day and hasn't gone anywhere. And lo and behold, you can see that Mr. Z had this nailed absolutely perfectly. The high was 154.22. It broke down and then it rallied 20 pips right up to the 154.13 area, which was a 61% retracement of that move. And now it's completed the ABCD to the downside. As the more time we spend up here, and we've been here for 3 weeks, it's telling us that if we can't get above it, this is not a very bullish sign for the bonds. And as you know, long term, we are very, very bearish bonds and very, very bearish notes, i.e. higher interest rates. So this is a very interesting pattern to pay attention to. But realize this is only 1 point, folks, one handle. So that can change in a heartbeat in these markets. So this is a short-term chart, an hourly chart. So you don't want to get too, don't do too much on your long-term planning for financials looking at just a 30-minute chart or 30 or 60-minute chart. That's more for entering a market and trying to get into something that is pretty important. We've had a question to talk about Tesla for just a minute. I want to bring it up here. Hold on 1 second here. That's not what I wanted. Where are you, Tesla? Hello, Federal. Well, I thought I had it here. There we go. Okay, here's Tesla. Let's do up to date. So we're up to date here because we want to see what the market's really doing. And this is where we are right now with Tesla. I don't know where it's trading right now, folks, but this is Tesla over the past 3.5 weeks. You'll notice it has some really nice swings. Look at the bottoms, how they've come in at either the 618 or the 786 almost the whole way. And now what we've done after that bottom yesterday at around 304, we've rallied up to 318. That's the 61% retracement of the high that we made, back on the 17th. And if that holds, that tells us that Tesla should be heading down to the 295 level. And that would be an ABCD pattern. It would also be a 78% retracement of the low from October the 2nd. So let's watch this one in the future as we move on. Remember, tomorrow, folks, is a closing day. So at TFNN, 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're back, and I want to put the chart in of the natural gas. And as you'll notice, we talked about this several times, the importance of that 303 level. And as you can see, as soon as we went below 303, which was the 382 retracement, that told us that we're most probably heading down. As you look at this, you can see we're into the gap area now, which is right around the 298 level. But the fact that we have that ABCD structure so clearly highlighted here that it looks like we're going to get down to around the 292 level, which is the 61% retracement. Earlier this morning, Mr. Z from Philadelphia posted a chart on the weather map showing that the difference in the weather is one of the reasons why the natural gas might be under some pressure at this particular time. So we'll watch this very, very closely. Okay. That's about all we have to say for natural gas. Now, there's one market that we've been watching and reporting here for quite some time, and that is the soybean oil market. In particular, hold on one second. Let's get this up here and take a look at this. This happens to be December oil, but the oil to be trading now is either January or March. January is bar the feather, and the better of the three, and we're up about $350 to $400 coming off of that sea leg, and we're having a really nice move also in soybeans, which we were sort of expecting because of the new moon that we had back on the 19th. And of course, the corn, that December corn and March corn have worked, quite nicely. They're up well over 10 cents from the bottom, which is good. And at this time of the year, it's even more amazing because it's in the finishing up harvesting. Now, we have to pay close attention to a couple of markets, folks, that are doing something that we thought they would be doing, and now they're doing it. So here we'll take a look here. That's the one from yesterday, but I want to get it up here. Hold on one second. Make sure I can get the doggone it. I put these charts up, and I'll be darned if I can't find the darn crude oil now. Well, I'll put the one from yesterday up because of the fact that that's the only one I've got. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, shucks. Well, let's take a look at it here. Anyway, we did take this high out. I want to show you, we took out the high of $58 a barrel. We got to 58.05. that did take out the high of October. We did not take out the high in the heating oil, and heating oil had been the leader of the pack. It missed it by a penny, but it still hasn't done it yet. That doesn't mean it's bearish. It just means it hasn't done it yet. So if it starts to turn down from here, then it'll mean something. But at this particular point, these things are setting so close to their highs that you don't going to meet. You don't know what's going to meet. Well, Mr. Peak, I can tell you this. Unless Isaac Newton was wrong, the answer to your question is yes, the market will go down. The question is, will it be in my lifetime, your lifetime, or my grandson's lifetime? And I'm talking about the 4-year-old, not the 16-year-old. So keep in mind that the market can't go up forever, but, it's going up forever right now. This is a very positive time of the year. And not only that, but look at this, folks. Home prices, the average home price is up $12,000 this year. One of our den folks have just told us that. That's the average price of a home is up $12,500. We've had almost a $4.5 trillion move in the stock market, folks, since November the 8th. When the Dow was down 880 points. They had Paul Krugman on Bloomberg yesterday, filling in some time for the Charlie Rose show that doesn't come on anymore. And Krugman said of all of his degrees that he had, the fact that he missed the stock market so much, he said, has caused him more pain than anything he's done in academia. And of course, he was looking for the stock market to go down to about 14 or 15,000 with the collapse of the Trump thing. And then if Trump got elected, and look what happened, it did the exact opposite. So here's a PhD that was totally wrong. And believe me, a lot of these PhDs do the same thing. We remember. Long-term capital with John Merriweather. He had 3 Nobel Prize laureates in economics in there, and yet they still went to tapioca. So we'll see. Anyway, that PhD, baby, piled higher and deeper. You're absolutely correct. Okay, in fact, in this business, it's not what you know, it's who you know, I guess. So we'll go from one thing to the other here and move on. I want to cover a couple other markets that look really interesting here. One, of course, here is the euro. This is pretty much up to date where we are this morning. And we'll put this up here. You'll notice that we've been in a pretty good downtrend since the 15th. That number we had up there at that 118.70 level, of course, was a 78% retracement on the daily chart, and now we're coming down to test this level of 116.90. Now, believe it or not, folks, there's only one country in the world that celebrates Thanksgiving, and that's us. So the rest of the world is going to be open tomorrow. I don't think we're going to have electronic trading on Globex, but I could be wrong. I haven't even checked that because I am taking 2 days off. But I believe there's going to be some trading Friday, of course, and then they'll start again. Sometime a little bit later. So you're right. By the way, you're right, Peak, that show billions on I think it's on Showtime, but they charge for these. They were free last year. Now because they're so popular, they're charging everybody to watch them. But they're still fabulous. It's a really good thing. It's pretty indicative of the hedge fund business. And I guess you guys know that Andrew Ross Sorkin, the guy at CNBC who's on with Paul Kernan and Betsy Quick each day, he was the writer of that. So it's a pretty good description of what's going on in the markets if you like to watch something like that, which I do. Of course, my favorite part is the Ancient Aliens series. I really enjoy that. I've always been a big fan of that because I met Eric von Däniken when I was in college and in graduate school. And I've always had an affinity for that, and I've always tried to go to some of these places that he mentioned in his book in Mexico and other places, a couple places in South America, and of course Stonehenge and other places. Unfortunately, I never got to go to the Middle East to see some of those wonderful places, but we'll see. Anyway, let's move on here to something that really matters, and I want to talk a little bit more about the IWM here because this has taken off and gone into a new high. We'll pull this up. You'll see that after we fill this gap here, back on just about 5 days ago, we went straight up and made a new high. Now we have taken out that 1.618, and we left another gap yesterday, and we left a pretty big gap yesterday. And of course, you'd see the first gap has been filled. Now we've got another one to fill, so we'll wait and see. This is a relatively light volume rally, but it is a rally, and you cannot deny that. And there's no indication now that this thing wants to turn down as yet. I think that when it does turn down, we'll get a pretty good idea of it looking at technical pictures. It's never, failed us, in the past. Unfortunately, you might have to try a dozen times before you get it right, but eventually, you will get it right. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I posted a chart of the crude oil over yesterday. You can notice we went down to that 61% retracement, and then, of course, we've gone up and completed that ABCD pattern at 58.05. We've now smashed. I mean, crude oil is collapsing, folks. Sort of a joke. It's down 25 cents, which is $250, so it's nothing. I mean, it's just in a trading range is all it really is. Nothing really matters yet, but we did take out the high by a little bit in the crude oil, but not in the heating oil. That's there's a big difference between those two, so sort of pay attention to it. Now, regarding the Treasury bonds, I still believe we got a chance. We've held that level this morning at 53.20, 53.17. If we can get this thing up in the new high ground, we could get up to that 155 level that we're potentially looking for, and we'll wait and see. But remember, this is a very, very slow trading day, and I would be very, very cautious on anything that you do. And folks, this is one of the few days of the year that I've not traded. Even when back in the old days of Drexel Burnham, well, Drexel was different because on December 8th or 9th, when Hanukkah started, that was it for the rest of the year. Drexel figured if you hadn't made your money by that time of the year, you were just basically trying to stay even for the last 3 weeks, and that was party time. So one other thing I ought to mention about that you probably don't know the culture of Drexel at that time, but they were really big into giving, folks. Let me tell you, that was something that was expected from everybody, and everybody did it. And what they usually did was they selected an organization. One of their favorites, of course, was the Salvation Army, because most of the money that you give to the Salvation Army, goes to the good things, that the people do, and also the gospel mission in Los Angeles. I have to tell you a story about that. This is important, I think, but I believe it was 1980. See, the girls were 11 or 12. Yeah, the girls were just turning 12 and 13, and for Thanksgiving that year, we didn't have any relatives coming out from Indiana, and they wanted to do something different, so they wanted to go down to the gospel mission and work in downtown Los Angeles. And let me tell you, boys and girls, that's a scary situation down there. But we did. We went down there early in the morning at 8 o'clock. We worked all day, and there were very few Caucasians there, and but it was very, very enlightening. And to see my kids being that generous, really, and it made the people there feel very, very happy to see, someone there that was totally out of their lifestyle to do that. That was the only year we did that. I've done it many times here in Tucson, but not anymore in the Los Angeles. But remember, you got to remember, that's 30 some years ago, and that was tough back then because we were coming out of a recession. And it was not an easy thing. We were still into, Carter had was he still president? Yeah, he was still president. Reagan came in November of that year. So it was not an easy thing, but the kids did it. And my one daughter continues to do that with my grandson. So that makes me feel pretty good. Let's get back to the markets a little bit. I'm trying to fill in here today, boys and girls, because this is the last day of the week for the old cowboy, and I want to try to get as much information as I can to you. The Dow's sold off a little bit, but really not very much. I don't think there's going to be very much happening today at all, if you want to know the truth. And anyway, we'll see. No, I'm not doing that tomorrow. Not tomorrow. No, tomorrow is going to be something a little different. But we did it with Mark Douglas. So for many years here, when he first moved here for the first 7 years, and then he moved to Scottsdale, and then there's not many poor people in Scottsdale, folks. So that's the Beverly Hills of Arizona. All right, let's move on to some of these markets. We've got a market here, folks, that is really hanging on for dear life. Let's just pull it up here. This is almost like the, let's just give me 1 second here so I can get this darn chart up. This is the Japanese yen. You'll notice here that the Japanese yen hit this level yesterday. We had a really strong rally. We got up to 112.88. We rallied almost exactly 100 pips, and now we've come down and we've tested this 382 level one more time. So with the slightest bit of push down, this is telling us that we're going to see another 2-point move to the downside, and this would mean most probably that the dollar index is going to weaken a little bit. The euro is still hanging at that same critical level of 117.70, and I believe if we get the euro above 117.90, then we got a chance that this dollar index that we've been following would have a pretty big drop down into this level. Let me just put this up here. Hold it. Steve Rhodes is telling us something. The Dow priced in euros is breaking out above previous swing points. I would think that. That's correct. Good information, Steve. Thank you very much. That's another advantage of being in the Tiger Den here at TFNN, folks, is you got some really smart people in there that are giving you some good information. How many people would price the Dow Jones in euros? And that's what they do when they're trading it in euros. So we'll see what's going on. So let's move this over here, and we'll take a look here at this dollar index. And you can see here we had a little bit of a 3-day rally. We get up to about 94. That's a very, very shallow rally, and any move below 93.50, that would be a breakout in the euro above the 118 level, I believe, and that would change everything. So that's going to be pretty much what I think will happen if we do get that. Right now, all we've done is went back and tested that high from yesterday, and that's only a 40-pip move up and down, so that's really, not very much at all. But we have gone below the low in the Japanese yen now, just by a few pips, but we have done that. The other one that looks interesting, of course, is this gold market, because we're almost at a 61% retracement coming off that bottom we made, and with this dollar moving the way it is, this could be very interesting to close today. Even though it's not much going on, we have to pay pretty close attention to it, folks. We've got a lot of different markets here to look at. The Dow Jones is only 30 stocks, and of those 30 stocks, 15 are moving the market. You've got the S&P, which is 500 stocks, and there's only about 80 of those that are moving the market. And you've got the NASDAQ, which is 100 stocks, the NASDAQ 100, and only 20 of those stocks are moving. So it's not this is not a broadly based rally, in my opinion. Even though it's going up, it's not nearly as broad-based as these indices are telling us, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, let's move on to the next one that we're going to take a look at. We want to stay with these currencies because no, the question that you're asking, do I think gold is a short at the 618? If you're trading it from a shorter term time frame, yes, I do. But there's a real problem here, Cam. The difference between the 618 and that old high is only $2.50, and boy, $2.50 in gold is one large order. So I am not doing it. I'm not doing anything today, but that's an interesting chart. It's getting right up to it. Let me see if I can bring it up. Oh, you know what I'll do is we got another break coming here, and I will bring up the gold and silver charts so we can take a look at them, and we'll see if we can come up with something. But it's a little too close to that old high for my risk reward. But we'll take a look at it. 877-927-6648.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart, the 30-minute chart of the gold up here. We're talking about this Gartley that's almost at the 61% retracement here at the 1288 level. I really shouldn't have said what I said because it is far away. It is more than $8 away from the old high. I thought it was only $2, but the old high was $12.97. So that's we've only got a few hours of trading left, but that is for a scalping type move. Yes, I think that that would probably be a good trade. Now, remember, these are all what do we call about it? These are all probabilities. There's never any certainties. One of the things that I still believe we've got a chance for lower prices in gold is we look at the price of silver. You'll notice that silver has just been bouncing around this triangle that we have. We broke it out on the upside, we broke it out of the downside, and we've done nothing. And we're not even making a 382 retracement in silver, whereas gold is making a 61% retracement. So those are the main things that we're looking at. Folks, they're talking here in the den about the Uber, the fact that they had a 57 million accounts were hacked and their driver's license numbers were given out. My experience of these last few months working with John Jameson and the fact that we're looking at, we talk about Bitcoin, but it's more about blockchains. This is what blockchains will prevent from happening, folks. It'll prevent hackers from getting in to these things. This is from what John tells me, and he certainly knows this a lot more than I know. Well, everybody knows more than I know, but that's the main thing. But this is why this blockchain technology with Bitcoin and these others are there. And you're going to see, remember, like John mentioned, he said, we're in the wild, wild west of this, folks. This is like the internet in 1990. He says it's like the Silicon Valley in 1979. He said, it's like Alexander Graham Bell back in the 30s with the telephone. So this is real serious stuff that he's talking about. And a lot of people think that it's just a it's just a fad. Well, there's a possibility of that, but John is a really smart guy, and he was in the beginning of the internet. He was back in the 80s that he was doing that when he was just a college kid, and he does know this stuff extremely well. And how do we profit from it, Peak? Is you start to learn a little bit about what it's all about. There are over 12,000 1,200 cryptocurrencies out there, folks. And now you saw yesterday that you had one guy that came in and raised $385,000 on a scam. Well, that's the internet. The internet does this to everybody all the time. It's all different kind of stuff that we have. Hey, we got a caller coming in. Mr. Z from Philadelphia. How are you, John? And happy holidays to you. You there, buddy? Uh-oh. Maybe I didn't pay my phone bill here in Tucson. Let me see. Well, maybe we missed John. We'll try to get him back on. Hopefully he'll call back. But always like to hear what he has to say because he's really got some good information. That's for sure. Maybe he'll call back. So anyway, we'll get back to this. We did this webinar with John Jameson. If you want to listen to it, go to www.tfnn and you'll get an hour and a half of what really is going on, with blockchains and Bitcoin. Bitcoin went over $8,300 a share. Recently, I only know two people, folks, and I know a lot of people, being in a semi-public format here, but I only know two people. I know a guy back in London that bought $100 worth several years ago. Of course, John's been in it for quite some time. Those are the only two people that I know that know anything about Bitcoin. When I play in the poker tournaments, I always listen to chatter going on in the table. There's never any chatter about stocks anymore. I've never even heard the word Bitcoin anywhere. So this is new. Whether it's going to be big like some people think it is, you'll have to wait and see. But some of these moves that we've had have been, really quite spectacular. I don't know if you know this, but they're doing Bitcoin in China now. There's a company called NEO. NEO. That's one that John is looking at that looks pretty interesting to see what's going to be happening. Anyway, I only got a few more minutes here. It looks like we're not going to be able to get John on. That would be sad. Do the old cowboy a favor this weekend, folks. You got Thursday and you got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you see someone that is really in trouble, that really needs some help, try to give them help. Maybe it's a scam, but you don't know that. And, and so try to help somebody if you can, because, we've been blessed here at TFNN and everything that we do. And it's just try to do something good for somebody, whether it's a $5 or, we've got a little bet going with some of our trading buddies. Anybody that asks us for anything, if they ask us for $100, we give them $100. If they ask us for $5, we give them $5. I should tell you a story about that because it was about 20 years ago. I was on my way to California to go to Thanksgiving with my friends, the Weintraubs. Yeah, well, TFNN need $100. Okay, it's on the way. The check's in the mail. Anyway, I was on my way to California, and I was in Yuma, Arizona, getting gas. And this young man came up and he says, "Can you help me?" He had a little toddler with him, about a 2-year-old. And he said, "Can you help me?" I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "My water pump is out in my car, and I'm trying to get to California, and I can't do it." I said, "Where's the car?" He says, "It's over in this Shell station over there." So I said, "Well, let me think about it." So I filled up my car, and I drove around to that Shell station, and I went in, and I said, "You got a car here that needs a water pump?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's the guy's wife out there." He said, "He doesn't have any money." And I said, "How much is it going to cost to fix this?" And he said, $176. And I said, "Okay." He said, here's the money. I said, "Here's $176." And I said, "Here's 20." I gave him $200. I said, "Here's an extra $24 to give to him so they can have something to eat and everything." And the guy said to me, he said, "Are you crazy?" And I said, "No." I said, "I just want to do something nice for somebody for the holidays." He said, "Okay, we're going to do something nice, all right." He said, "I'm going to give him the $200 and I'm going to fix it for free." And I said, "Now that's really unusual." He said, "Well, I'm a real Christian." And he said, "You must be something like that because I've never had anybody do that." And he said, "I've been there for 30 years. And the old rule, what we had was if a person asked us for something, we tried to give them, whatever we had." Let me give you the moral of this story, folks. I get to California. This is on Tuesday. I get to California Tuesday night, and it's raining so bad. There's wrecks all over the freeway, and I can't really get through town. So I have to stop at the casino to stay all night. I get in, and I play in a poker tournament, and I win it and won $11,500. And that's the story of my good deeds for the day. So that's it. Anyway, that's an that was a long time ago, Okay, well, we'll see what happens here. But try to do something for some folks if you can. It doesn't make any difference whether they're trying to scam you or not. And frankly, I don't think people would do that. Well, they'll do it anytime, but use your own judgment. But try to do something nice for somebody. That would really be good. That's what you really need to do because we've got more than enough. and the people that don't have anything makes it tough. You think it's bad? Go down to one of those gospel missions in the towns where you are, and you'll see how things are. I mean, there's some people out there that are really hurting, even though the economy is really big. The people at the gospel mission, they're not in the FANG stocks. I can promise you that. So they're basically, trying to survive. So try to do that if you can. It would be a really good idea. And of course, TFNN does a lot with the Salvation Army, which is also good. And I think we should all try to, do something like that. Guess what? Larry's going to get off his soapbox, let the commercial come in, and then we'll finish up the Thanksgiving show in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. Someone asked me how this thing about the charity got started. It was back in 1983 in Chicago. It was cold that day. It was right around Thanksgiving, and Byron Tucker and Bobby Schmidt, who we used to hang around with quite a bit, who was also one of Leo's Malamad's lieutenants. We were going for lunch, and we were standing on the street corner, and this young man came up with a baby and his wife. and he said, I'm trying to get to Omaha, Nebraska. Can you help us? And Bobby Schmidt, who was probably one of the most generous people in the world, said, what do you need? And he said, I don't know. He said, my bus fare is probably going to be about $100, and I don't have any money at all. And he asked him, how'd you get in this condition? How'd you get in this condition? He said, well, we ran out of money because we thought we were going to be able to stay here an extra couple of days, but we don't have any. This was before credit cards. So Bobby reached in his pocket and he gave him $200, put him in a cab, and sent him to the bus station. And from that time on, we talked about it and said, let's make a guess here. Whoever, anybody that asks us for something, no matter how much it is, if it looks reasonable, we have to pay for it, and we'll keep it, keep an idea. And so far, my $176 was the biggest one that anyone's ever asked us. Hardly anybody asks you for more than $20, and I've only had a few of those. And if a person's smoking or drinking, I don't pay them. But anyway, that's it. Let's look on here with this chart with the Dow Jones, folks. We got lots of gaps. This is history being made. That's all I can tell you. I don't know when, but I do know it's not going to be if, it's when. So we're going to see what happens here after this holiday season and what's going to go on from this level. Anyway, that's about it. I think we're getting ready for Turkey Day. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And do something nice for someone over the holidays and have a wonderful time with your family, because you never know how much time you got left, folks. Look at David Cassidy, 67 years old and died of Alzheimer's. Man, you talk about sad.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.